Today we're taking another look at the GTA 6 mapping project. If you don't know what this is, it's basically a little project that some people in the community put together, kind of to guess how the GTA 6 map is going to look like when it officially gets revealed. Probably like early next year or maybe when the game just releases. But regardless, so there's a lot of stuff that has been updated with the release of Trailer 2. First off, we got to start off with the shout outs to everybody. This is everybody that worked on the map, probably additional people as well. So if you did, I'll leave a link in the description, of course, where you guys can check it out. But this is definitely a hard work that is done by everybody in the community and more. So let's start off with the part of Vice City. Now, of course, we've seen this multiple times, but there is some major changes that happens, especially with the names for a lot of places. Before, we weren't really sure on the names. Some things were sure because of the 2022 leaks, as well as also things for Trailer 1. But with Trailer 2, Rockstar did have actual places that they showed off, so there's going to be more certainty and things that we were for sure of that is going to be the same name. Now, things are subject to change. Something, for example, like the I don't know, Lil Haiti could be something a little bit different. We'll have to see. But regardless, though, we know at least for now it's going to be called. So we've seen so much of this part of the map, especially with the Ocean Drive. We've seen that in Trailer 1, Trailer 2, all of that. So just know it's going to be cool. The beach that we always are seeing throughout all the screenshots with the pedestrians, NPCs, all that is over here too. So not much has really changed. We just got a few more buildings probably added since they shown a bit more shots, but overall pretty much still the same. We also have the Leaf Links Golf Club remaining up here, as well as all the different islands that are going to be out this part of Vice City. So that's pretty cool. Just a lot of this stuff is going to be pretty similar to the Vice City map, but like 10 times more better. And then crossing over here, we have Little Haiti. Once again, more shots were shown in the trailer and also screenshots. We got a gun shop down here, Rockledge, Stockyard. So I just expect Rockstar to probably have a lot of stuff that were in the original Vice City and kind of pay homage to it. Of course, that was back in like 1986. So a lot of things have changed, of course, but just know there's definitely going to be some homage to it for sure. We got the Winning Islands up here, and then just more, kind of speculation of how this is going to be built. But I mean, it's based off of real life, so I would assume this is going to be good. We got Lake Leonida up here. Ember Rosa was something that's also added because we weren't sure how that was going to look like, as well as also Mount Calega. So we'll get more into up here a little bit later, but we're going to slide down here over to the airport. So I expect Rockstar to do a lot more with the airports in GTA 6. I feel like with the older GTAs, they were kind of basic. Some GTAs had better stuff with the airport compared to others. Like for example, San Andreas was really nice how you could like kind of fast travel between the different parts. So I would assume Rockstar is going to be doing something similar to that, as well as the fact that we do know there is going to be more than one airport, which we'll also talk about in a second. But the Vice City International Airport, I think, is maybe just going to be, besides just having the regular one-way would be like we have GTA 5. I expect to be hangars or something similar to that in the game already that we can get from the start, either purchasing and also in the online mode. And then the interior of the airport could probably have like, a shopping center, some malls and all that, maybe even some type of TSA thing. I don't know, but that would be a great addition. And then I feel like the runways would just be more active with more planes taking off, as well as also a fast travel feature probably included too. Just a more interesting, lively airport like it is today, because it is based off of 2025, we're assuming. So I mean, I would just hope that it's just gonna be a lot of things that are in it. And then we got a few more buildings and towns over here, and then we got 3 different islands over here, which is something I didn't really realize at first, but that's gonna be really cool to check out, because I feel like with the San Andreas there wasn't much, but when it comes to Miami, there's so many different like little islands that we could count, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all of that. It's just separated, so it's gonna be cool to like take boats or even somehow just drive to there. So that's gonna be a great addition. And then we got Hamlet. This really was shown a lot throughout some of the scenes of the driving. So we've seen like road signs like Hamlet's this way, all of that. Some of this is also from the leaks too. So that's gonna be a nice little town. I would assume it's not gonna be the biggest. I think it's probably gonna be like about the size like maybe Sandy Shores, maybe a little bit bigger than that. So that's gonna be nice. We got the Leonida Department of Corrections, LDC, which is gonna be near Hamlet, right outside of it. Pretty cool. And this is like the I-97. I'm pretty sure just continuing all the way up down here. Maybe we could have a different name. We'll see, but I think the highway system, since that's pretty big in Miami, Rockstar is gonna be doing great with that. So just know there's gonna be everything that's labeled correctly, and there's actually going to be consequences for not going on the right exit or something like that. I feel like with GTA 5, the highway system was pretty boring. It's just a full circle around the map, not really many exits, not really realistic. But with this one, there's actual exits that you have to take. If you miss it, you might have to go all the way back around. So I don't know. We'll see how Rockstar goes, but that would be a great addition. So besides that, we also had the Grass Rivers and Watson Bay. Pretty interesting. Grass Rivers, of course, is going to have all the alligators, Alligator Creek, and just, a bunch of like swamp things very similar to RDR2. So I'm really interested to see what Rox is going to put here. I'm assuming a bunch of shacks. I don't know how the grass servers look in real life, but I feel like with the RDR2 they did pretty good, and how I expected to be the 1800s, that's how it should have been. But I feel like now it's going to be a lot more different. And we got some type of safe house here. I'm not sure if that's the one from trailer 2, maybe. I think so, T2, maybe. And then, so we're probably gonna start off around here in the Leonardo Keys, which is the new official name. Before it was thought of to be the Gator Keys, because that's what it was leaked as, I guess, when Vice City first got announced or whatever. But I think they ended up taking that out, of course, and we don't even have the Gator Keys. But now we know some Leonardo Keys makes more sense for the keys. We got a shot that was at Jason at C, which was interesting to see. And then, you know, pretty much just a full-on highway. There's gonna be a bunch of houses, expensive mansions down here. I'm assuming some other things too. So that's gonna be nice to look at. We got this part named Sundown, and also a naval air station. So expect military bases and all of that Rox is gonna be putting in. So there's so much little islands too, you can see separated. So these are just, you know, gonna be cool additions. And then if we scroll more up, and we got a mud club. We've seen that in trailer 1, I'm pretty sure. And then if we continue up, we got the Leonardo State Prison. This is going to be one of the first places that I'm assuming we're going to go to once we first get into the game. And then we have the Port Gellhorn Airfield. This is not going to be like an international airport, at least for now. We're not sure. We do know that in the trailer, I think it was, Lucia was bringing a shirt that said like Gellhorn International. So it could be international airport, because you got to realize that Port Gellhorn is based on Fort Myers, which is also a big part of Florida. But we know for sure there's going to be more than one that we can fly to regardless. Nice little airfield over here. You know, Rockstar could again do some type of like interesting stuff, not making it like basic. And then of course, like I was saying, pretty big area. I mean, it looks a little small because we don't really know much of what it looks like, but just know I would assume, you know, Vice City's big itself, and this is probably going to be like around half the size of it, maybe a little bit more. So that's gonna be a great addition. We'll learn more about Amber Rosa eventually. Up here we got some part named Yorktown, and then we also have Bohemia over here. And then the biggest thing, of course, was Gloriana Estates. So we're assuming, since we've seen so many Gloriana plates, that there's going to be a place that is called Gloriana, and it's not going to be in the state of Leonardo, but going to be outside, similar to how Rockstar did in GTA 4 with Alderney. And then we of course had Liberty City. They didn't really have different plates, but regardless, we know that there were 2 different states. We had New Jersey and New York. So something like that could be happening here, because people did realize that mountains are not really in Leonardo or Florida, so it would make sense to put it in a different state, like, you know, Georgia. So potentially that's going to be over here, I hope. We can have 2 different states. That would be a great difference, because we haven't seen that in a little bit, and I feel like Rockstar is going to be doing way better, because we already seen how they did it with 5 states in RDR2, but now we're in 2026. Rockstar is going to be doing things a lot more better to really show the separation between the states. So expect to see great stuff there, and also of course it's going to be way different compared to how they did it in GTA 4. So I hope we got something similar to that, and maybe we can even see Atlanta. I don't know if Rockstar would do all of that, but that would be pretty interesting. I would assume some type of town is going to be up here though, for sure, in the state of Gloriana. So again, not the hugest changes. Again, we just got like a 3-minute trailer, so expecting things to get updated and confirmed. But until Rockstar shows us some gameplay, as well as also just a bit more of the states, and maybe even release a full-on map of it, like an interactive one, that'd be cool. Then we won't know for sure. But this is pretty much like the base breakdown of how the state of Leonardo will look like. Again, we'll probably, you know, go back to this a few more times just to see until the game releases. But regardless, again, shout out to everybody for this, because this is obviously a lot of great work that has been shown. Cannot wait for this to release. But I think we'll end things off there. If you guys did enjoy and want to see more like this, of course, subscribe and put up post notifications. Don't forget to drop a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.